Hey, Apple just sent me the new iPhone 12 Pro Max and it is insane. Don't believe me? Have a look. So, everything you just saw was 100% completely shot on iPhone 12 Pro Max. Pretty incredible, right? At least it blows my mind to see footage like this coming from a smartphone. Let's hear my thoughts why the iPhone 12 Pro Max is by far the best smartphone camera out there. The new camera system is a complete beast. You have a 12 megapixel main wide lens with a 26mm equivalence of view and an incredible aperture of f1.6. Then you have the all-new telephoto lens that now has a 2.5 optical zoom that comes with an aperture of f2.2 with a 65mm equivalence of view. And of course, last but not least, the ultra-wide lens with an incredible 120-degree field of view. All in all, these three lenses combined make for a 5-time optical zoom range in an iPhone. That's insane. And there's even more behind that glass that you could see at first glance. For example, the new LiDAR scanner. LiDAR basically measures the distance between your camera sensor and your object of interest, meaning that the autofocus in the new iPhone 12 Pro Max is 6 times faster than before. That said, it has never been as easy as now to get beautiful depth of field in a smartphone picture. And due to the 3 different lenses, it's not only computational depth of field, but also real depth of field. And that is just beautiful in a smartphone. When it comes to filmmaking, the iPhone 12 Pro Max even goes into an entire different dimension. You get 4K footage up to 60 frames per second and HD 1080p footage up to 240 frames per second. And all this in Dolby Vision. And I have to be frankly here, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is not only the first smartphone, but the first camera ever to shoot in Dolby Vision 10-bit color. What that means is that you basically have HDR in your video footage. You get beautiful details in the shadows as well as well-lit skies in the higher lit parts of your picture. And it really makes a difference. For example, if you look at the footage on the screen of the smartphone itself, it doesn't look like a smartphone video. It looks like a completely edited and graded production right from the get-go. In my professional video shoots, I am usually using the Sony Alpha series, but with the iPhone 12 Pro Max in my pocket now, I would easily, without any hesitation, sometimes take my iPhone just out of convenience, it's already in my pocket, take a beautiful footage and use it for my commercial customers. That's how good the footage looks. And that's not even the end of the story. Pretty much every scene you saw in that intro sequence was shot handheld, and it was completely stabilized. And that's only possible since Apple actually put a physical stabilization into the main wide lens of the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Usually smartphones would do a digital image stabilization that results sometimes in weird artifacts or blurry backgrounds. But with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, you actually have the sensor that is moving around behind your camera lens, creating perfect stabilized pictures right out of your hand. And that is insane. So you can see I am pretty blown away by the iPhone 12 Pro Max, but there are a couple of things that I really don't like about this phone. Number one being the sheer size. I mean, 6.7 inches. Really, Apple? I mean, that's a huge, humongous phone. It doesn't fit into my pocket, and that's really a bummer. And then the Smart HDR, as good as it is, you know, in the native camera, sometimes it creates a picture that does not look natural at all and actually is just bluntly ugly. For example, in this sunrise scene here over the city of Bern, the HDR tries to make a perfect lit sky at the same time as it does with a perfect lit foreground. And that just looks digital and ugly to me. But luckily though, there are already tons of great third-party apps, for example the Moment app or the Halide app Mark II, that make it possible to shoot in RAW format and take complete manual control of the camera. So if you look at this picture I took with the Moment app, it's a complete different story. And for the native app, Apple already has announced that they are going to release their very own RAW format coming out later this month, Apple Pro RAW, which will make it possible to make use of the computational photography that Apple has in their camera system and shoot RAW at the same time and be able to actually edit your pictures and make them look less like smartphone pictures but more like photos. And that is a great news. So to sum it up, the Apple 12 Pro Max is by far the best smartphone camera out there. It might be even the best camera altogether that was released in 2020 for 99% of the people. Let me explain. With Dolby Vision, 10-bit color, the 3 different lenses and that perfect autofocus due to LiDAR, it makes many things better than entry-level DSLR cameras do. But to be clear here, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is not for everyone. If you are into filmmaking and smartphone photography like myself, and you want to take your smartphone photography to the next level and take professional pictures with it, then the iPhone 12 Pro Max is definitely worth the upgrade because there's not really any other option in that level out there. But however, if you're only using your smartphone for the occasional picture with your friends or your family, and other than that use it as a smartphone and not a camera, you can easily stick to the one you have, especially when your phone was released within the past 2 years.